Hello, Rodney. How are you doing today?
Happy today.
All right, I can see that. I'm happy too. Hello, viewers. Welcome to another podcast. This is Talk to Phoebe podcast where we explore leadership, innovation, business growth, and the people transforming industry through bold ideas. I'm your host, Phoebe. I'm excited today to welcome Rodney Koop. Rodney is the founder of New Flat Rate, one of the most influential voice in the home service industry. With more than 40 years of industry experience and over 3 decades as a business owner, Rodney has helped contractors rethink one of the most challenging aspects of running a service business: pricing and sales. His philosophy is simple: stop selling, let customer buy. Through his menu pricing system, Rodney has helped HVAC, plumbing, electrical contractors increase profit, improve customer satisfaction, and eliminate the discomfort of traditional sales tactics. Rodney, you're welcome to our podcast.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm
Yeah,
happy
yeah.
to help.
Yes, I'm excited too, and I know we are all ready to hear from you because everybody listening today either have a home or live in a home. So it's definitely what you are going to share today will apply to everybody, and we're all listening. So let's dive into it. Rodney, you spent over 4 decades in home service industry. What first attracted you to this business?
It was forced labor. My dad said, "Get out of bed and get on the truck and help your brothers." That's how I got into this business.
Wow, awesome. Okay, what was your first experience as a business owner?
But now, as a business owner, my first experience, believe it or not, was this is so easy. And the reason is because, like most people, I was an electrician. And so when I quit my job to start a new company,
Yes.
it was because I wasn't really happy with what was going on, which is really sad because it was the best job I ever had. But we all get that entrepreneurial bug. Well, I was teaching at the college in the evenings for continuing education for people who wanted to get their electrical licenses.
Yes.
And a lot of these students were managers, supervisors, foremen in manufacturing plants in the area because the owners of those plants thought they were going to have licensed people on their staff. So these high level staff people, including engineers, superintendents, they were attending my class.
Mm.
So I got to know them. Well, they would ask me, "Hey, can you come and quote this job? Can you quote this job?"
Mm.
And so I began before I even started my business.
Mm.
I had high level people wanting me to come and bid work. And so the difficulty, one of the things that is, I think, is not good for a business is early success. If it's easy at the beginning, you just think it's going to be easy. And until you start making stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
So my initial experience was this is easy. I would bid the work, I would hire some electricians, and we would do the work. And it was more money than I had ever seen.
Mm.
I was used to making, oh, at that time, I was probably making, I think I was making $37,000 a year at that job,
Yeah.
which so my paycheck, my take home was probably about $800 every 2 weeks.
Mhm.
Let's say 400 a week. That's not a lot of money, but this is over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, if I can just do one or two little jobs and make as much as I was making, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to build a big company or get rich.
Mm.
I just wanted to be okay. Well, what happens is you get a nice job, you hire 5 or 6 people who very often quit
Yes.
another job to come and work for you. So maybe this job lasts 3 months. And at the end of 3 months, they're saying, "Hey, boss, where are we going next week? Hey, boss, where are we going?" Well, if you can't answer that question, you lose them.
Yeah.
They might not come and work for you again.
Yeah.
So what happened is I would start taking what we call, well, it's really just commercial work, whether it's schools or office buildings, the kind of things where you're working not for an industrial plant.
Mhm.
Now you're working for a general contractor that's building a school.
Mhm.
You have to be the low bidder.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I could take those kind of jobs to keep my guys busy so that when the good work came, I would still have them.
Yeah.
But I was losing money on those jobs faster than I was making it over here.
Yeah.
So my first 3 years in business were easy. Money was like water until it got hard.
Mhm. Awesome. That's very good. So when do you realize that growing a service company require more than technical expertise?
That's such a good question because as a technician, an electrician, a craftsman, and I had gotten very, very good at my trade. I had went above and beyond in studying, in learning, so much so that I was able to teach on the side.
Yeah.
What happens is you think, oh, I could run a business. And in truth, I was managing, I don't know, $1.5 million, $2 million worth of work for this other company, and I was doing it very well.
Yeah.
But I wasn't alone. I was a project manager, and I had people above me. I had the company president, vice president. I had the warehouse, the estimating, the engineering.
Yeah.
If I needed help, it was just a phone call away.
Yeah.
So I could go and start running my own jobs. Yes.
Yes.
But running a business where it starts to fall apart for the technical person is when you decide you want to be in an office. See, you always think, okay, we keep moving up the ladder, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I rent an office. Now I'm in the office. Now I have to have an office manager. And so the office manager does the invoicing and scheduling and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I really needed to be spending my time out on the job. A lot of technicians who become owners, it's not the Ferris wheel ride they thought it was going to be. Here's what they have to remember. There's an old saying that says, dance with the one that brought you here. Well, the one that brought me there was my expertise as a technician and a craftsman.
Yeah.
I would have done better and made more money if I stayed on the job with the men working with tools and just let somebody in the office answer the phones and take care of the invoicing and scheduling and billing.
Yeah.
But I wanted to be a big shot. I wanted to drive around and talk to other contractors and bid jobs. And, there's a friend of mine has a saying. He says, my ego is not my amigo. That is so true.
Yeah.
A good technician or craftsman gets a big head. Because we get really good at what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel like, like if I came into a house or a building and they said, I've got a problem and I don't know if you can fix it, I would be like, man, you called the right person.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't care what it is. When I leave, it'll be fixed. See, I had a big ego because I had the craftsmanship to back it up.
Yeah.
I had the experience to back it up. That does not transfer to running a business. Because you're running a business and you still have jobs, you still have, now you're hiring technicians that aren't usually as good as you were.
Yeah.
So they don't do the jobs as good, as fast, or as profitable as you did them.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah. Thank you very much. This is really good. In fact, one of the biggest challenge for many contractors is sales. So you've openly shared that you spent years trying to teach technicians how to sell. Why was that such a struggle?
Well, see, here's what happens. What happens is overhead. When I was working as a technician, I didn't have an office. I didn't have to pay utilities. I didn't have to pay people in the office. I didn't have to make payroll every week. I didn't have to buy office equipment, computers, copiers, printers. Once you start doing that, you have costs that you didn't have before.
Yes.
And then you have people working out on the jobs. They don't care about it like you do.
Yeah.
They don't. When I would be on a job, at the end of the day, I would walk the whole job and make sure that no tools were left out. No materials were left out.
Yeah.
I just did that because it was my stuff, my business. I grew up that way. But guess what? Employees don't do that. Oh, hey, boss, we're short 300 feet of conduit. Well, You had it yesterday. Yeah, somebody must have took it. You see? So all of the different costs start to rise.
Yeah.
All of the money that you had, those first 2 or 3 years, Phoebe,
Mm.
I could buy pretty much anything I wanted.
Yeah.
And if I wanted a boat, I just went and bought a boat.
Yeah.
But when the overhead started to come up,
Mm.
then every week I had to make payroll. Phoebe, I learned to hate Fridays. Hated them. I loved Mondays because it's 4 days till payroll. I hated Fridays because I had to come up with the payroll, and most of the time I couldn't pay myself. So when you get into that position,
Mm.
what do? You go to the seminars, to the trade shows, you hire coaches, sales trainers, and they say two things. Number one, raise your prices, raise your prices. And number two, upsell, upsell. You know, the customer, they need a whole lot more. They maybe called you to fix a light switch, but they probably need outside lighting. You know, they need something else. So I started having sales training I had electricians, but then I had a plumbing company, and then I had a heating and air company. So I thought, oh, this is wonderful. Monday morning, I'll have a sales training class, and I'll teach my technicians how to sell and upsell in the home. Phoebe, it is pathetic because the owner used to be an electrician with a big head, okay? But when I was doing it myself, my overhead was low. I didn't have to sell and upsell. I just had to do work and the money just flowed. Now I've got all this business expense, payroll expense, uniform expense, tools. Anyway, so now there's not enough money coming in. So now I have to get the dispatcher to try to schedule better jobs. I have to try to get the guys to go into the job, sell and upsell, and it's just pathetic. So here's what happens. What happens is your good technicians, the guys that can fix anything, the guys that love to fix stuff, I'll just tell you what that's like. As an electrician, if I came into whatever kind of it could be a house, it could be a farm, it could be a manufacturing plant. Something's not working. I come in, I do my testing, my diagnosing, and I fix it. Okay, now it's time to push the button. It's time to start that big motor that wasn't working when I came. Phoebe, to understand the mind of the craftsman, when I walk up there before I push the button, I'm looking around. I hope people are watching. Because when this thing starts, that validates me. Okay?
Yes, I agree.
That's what turns me on.
Yes.
You know, a salesman will say, when they sign the contract, I get this rush of adrenaline. Well, for me, it's when I go over there and push that button and it starts. That makes my day. See? Because I know it's going to start.
Yeah. Awesome. That's very good. So what impact does sales pressure have on technician?
Well, the problem, if you're a good craftsman, you get your adrenaline from doing great work and seeing a job well done. Then the boss comes and says, well, why didn't you ask them if they wanted that outdoor light fixed? Why didn't you see if they wanted something else? Why didn't you tell them that we could put that panel in for them? Why didn't you tell them they needed a new breaker panel? Now, if you're a good craftsman and your boss is always, why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Now, Phoebe, what I'm about to tell you has happened over 100,000 times, probably 300,000 times in heating, air, electric, and plumbing in the United States. And that's that the good people quit. They're tired of working for somebody who doesn't appreciate it. And when you try to get them to sell, they think you want them to take advantage of the customer. And they're not going to, a good craftsman won't do it.
Awesome. Okay. So at what point did you realize that traditional model were broken?
Here's what happened, Phoebe. And I'm going to tell you something. Now, I work with contractors all over the United States, Canada, and Australia. I don't know so much about Canada and Australia because my my team, my kids that work for me, they do that. But I know about the United States.
Yes.
Okay. And I know so many people, so many contractors did what I did. Oh, if you don't want to sell and upsell in the home, I will hire somebody that will. Back in the 90s, this was my avatar. I was looking for men or technicians that could have went to college.
Mm-hmm.
They're smart,
Mm-hmm.
but they didn't for some reason. Okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe they just liked doing skilled labor, or maybe they got married so I wanted clean, sharp, articulate, intelligent people mm-hmm. with selling and communication skills. Mm-hmm. I started hiring, and I'm not the only one that did this.
Yeah.
We would hire copy machine salesmen because they usually had a little bit of mechanical billing. Mm-hmm. Now get this, we would hire car salesmen.
Wow.
We would hire anybody. We would hire chemical salespeople. So we would hire people who were already salesmen and had, in other words, a mechanical aptitude. They know what a plier is, mm-hmm. and they know what a screwdriver is. And then we would try to teach them how to do the technical skills. And Phoebe, I'm telling you, hundreds, thousands of contractors did the same thing.
Yeah.
And it devastated the industry because now we had people working for us that couldn't fix a toaster.
Oh my God.
And that was in the 90s when we started doing that. And I'm going to tell you something. It's 100 times worse today. 100 times worse today.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So that realization led to a completely different way of thinking. You often say, stop selling, let customers buy. What does that mean?
Okay. Let me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
What is the most successful thing that Amazon ever did? And you won't get it right. I'm going to have to tell you.
I think it's delivery, the home delivery.
Home delivery is true, but we already had that from Sears and other places.
Okay. Well, I think having a wide array of things to choose from.
That's good. They started with books, as you know. And yeah, they have a wide array. But you know what and this is my opinion.
Okay,
you know what I think their most important thing they ever did? Mm-hmm. Click to buy. Click to buy. You're looking at an item, click, it's yours.
Yeah.
They got you to put in your credit card information, etc., so you could click to buy. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it allows the window shoppers, the browsers, etc., to, oh my gosh, that looks like a good deal. Click, they own it. Now, other people came along after them, other websites and stuff, but they so dominated the market. Okay, having said that, okay, how do I want my customer to feel when I'm in the home? I want them to feel just like they are on Amazon. They're just shopping. They have no pressure, Phoebe.
Yeah.
There's just no pressure, right? There's no salesman breathing down their neck, and they can just click on anything, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, and then think about the young lady in a sundress prancing through her favorite department store. She's got a couple of shopping bags, and she's looking around, and she's just loving the day.
Yeah.
She's in her favorite shopping center, mall, or whatever. That's how I want my customer to feel, Phoebe. I want them to feel like they're enjoying, like they're at their favorite shopping place. No pressure, and they're looking at beautiful stuff. Having said that, what we created was a simple menu so that and this is how we solved the problem. Mm-hmm. If a plumber came to your house because you had a leak under the kitchen sink, most people have had that leak for a long time.
Yes.
If it's in my house, I put a bucket under it. Mm-hmm. My wife says, that sink's leaking. Okay, I put a bucket under it, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. 3 weeks later, it's still leaking. Still got a bucket there, just dump it out. Then, as a handy person, mm-hmm. I might one Saturday morning go to Home Depot, get some parts, fix it. And then a few days later, my wife says, hey, it's leaking again. Mm. Oh, I'll put the bucket back. My point is this. By the time I call the plumber, I'm frustrated with this. Yes. I'm done with it. It's okay. And then I have to take off work. Now, first, I got to figure out who to call. Oh, I got to find a plumber. Back in the day, we had yellow pages. Now we
Yeah.
don't. So usually, you're going to ask somebody. If you've got a friend that you'll just call them. Hey, who do you use? You might go on social media or whatever, but you find somebody. So you make the appointment, and they say, okay, yeah, we can be there at 8:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I say, sweetheart, can you take the kids to school? And I'll wait for the plumber.
Yeah.
Okay, great. She's gone. It's 8:15, and what am I worried about? Is he going to show up?
Yeah.
Right? So my stress level is high because I'm not at work. I'm not at my job, whatever it was. Finally, he drives up at 8:30. I'm like, good, hooray. See, now look, my stress level just went down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
See, this is very important to understand. So then he comes in, hey, what's the problem? Oh, this sink, it's been leaking. It's been giving us a problem for 3 months. Oh, well, okay. It looks like somebody tried to fix it. Yeah, that was me. Okay, well, tell you what, let me get some tools and I'll check it out. And I'll probably give you some options. See what you want to do. Okay, great. No problem. So now he does that, but now he's at my kitchen sink, Phoebe, and I've got leaks down underneath.
Yeah.
So he checks it out. He comes back and he says, hey, Rodney, I'm a little concerned. Yeah, you've got some problems there. But don't worry, I've got some options to take care of it. Would you like to see them? I say, yeah. Okay, all he does is he brings up the menu for the kitchen sink. Now, what is the most profitable thing that I have that a customer could buy? It's me. My talent, wisdom, knowledge, experience, craftsmanship, and tender loving care. But if I just say, well, I can just go ahead and glue a piece in there and fix it, it'll cost you $195, I can take care of it. And the customer says, fine. But I didn't look at the rest of the sink, okay? But remember, if my boss was trying to train me to look at and upsell, then I'm just mad at my boss. Because I think it's just got a little leak, I'll fix that.
Yeah.
But if I show them the menu, the top option on the menu is a platinum kitchen sink renovation.
Yeah.
And so I say to the customer, I say, hey, I've got some options. Would you like to see it? And I show the customer just a menu. And over here, Phoebe, is all of the costs. This might be $1,250, $825, $625, $425, and maybe $225. The first thing they're going to see is the prices.
Yes.
Just like in the store.
Yeah.
Okay. Just like you go to look at something in the store and everything has a price on it. Okay. So there's the prices. The customer immediately looks at the prices, and I say, just so you know, my top option is the most premium. That means it's the most expensive, but it's also the most permanent. And that's where I can take my time, do a great job, and give you a better warranty. What it is it's a complete renovation. I'm going to take everything apart on top of the sink, rebuild, rework everything. I'm going to take the sink up. I'm going to reseal it so that there's no leaks. I'm going to put new pop-up basket strainers in. I'm going to put all new plumbing underneath it, and I'm going to run my drain cleaner and clean your drains all the way to the main line. That's my top option. If I did all that, it would be $1,295. But take a look. There's other options. What should we do? The customer, now Phoebe, this is being done about 40,000 times a week. The customer immediately looks at the numbers and they know about what they can afford.
Yeah.
Remember, this problem has been bothering them. They had to take off work.
Yes.
They're going to spend as much as they can to do the best job they can to put this behind them.
Yes.
And Phoebe, 40,000 times a week in less than 10 seconds, they'll say, tell me about that middle option, or let's just do that top option. Or is it okay if they take the bottom one, Phoebe? They always say, is it okay if we just do that one? And then they always tell me why, Phoebe. They say, because we just had to buy tires for our daughter's car. Could we just do that one this time? I'm like, absolutely. Don't you worry about it. Are you sure there's other options? No, that's what we want. Okay, we'll take care of it. Now, if they say, tell me about that middle option, I say, that's a great choice. What do you like about it? You see, what they like, Phoebe, is it's their budget.
Yes.
And it's in the middle, and they already know you'll do a good job, and it's got a better warranty than down here. And so they say, oh, I don't know. I think because it's in the middle, and yeah, I like that. And then I say, what should we do? They say, well, let's just do that. I say, okay. But I say, Are you sure? Because I don't think you looked at my other options. See, are you sure you don't want the cheaper options? See, I don't want them to ever think I'm twisting their arm.
Yeah.
Or like I'm trying to upsell.
Yeah.
No, if anything, you can take a cheaper. They say, no, that's what I want. I say, so what should we do? They say, let's do that. I say, okay, I'll get started. You see? So if the menu is done right, they will never object to the price.
Yes.
If it's done right, they will never think you're trying to sell them because you're not.
Yes.
You don't have to put your guys in sales training. Yeah. All they have to do is show the menu. And say, and the customer says, do that or do that or do that. And so when the customer buys a higher option, they're buying more of my most profitable item, my time, my experience, my knowledge, my wisdom, my craftsmanship, and my tender loving care.
Yeah.
And that makes me as a technician feel good.
That's very good. You know, what I can see from this year summary is that menu option gives the customer the psychological feeling of being in control of what they're buying. And it really makes a lot of sense. It really, Fadi, your explanation just answered most of the question I have there. So, you know, that's just, you know, let's move to the next question. Because that isn't just a customer experience improvement. It also changes business performance. That's all you've explained now. So my question, what happens to revenue when contractors adopt your menu pricing? Because what you explained now is a menu pricing which is very clear and it makes a lot of sense. So what happens when contractors adopt your menu pricing system?
When they sign up?
No, when they adopt your menu pricing.
Yeah. Right. Well, all of our feedback and data, because we've been doing this for 16 years, is that it doubles and triples their average repair ticket. Wow. Once again, with happier customers, no buyer's remorse, no sales objection, and no price objection. The technicians are happier. Now when a service person comes back to the shop, the boss doesn't have to say, why didn't you charge him to program that thermostat? Why didn't you set? Here's what the boss does. He looks you in the eye, pats you on the back and says, you are amazing. You can fix anything. No wonder our customers love you. So you can appreciate a serviceman for the core value. Remember, my core value as an electrician is when I push the button, it's going to start.
Yeah.
And if the boss appreciates me for that, I'll work for him for the rest of my life.
Awesome. That's very good. So what are some common pricing mistakes contractors make?
The common mistakes they make are thinking that they have to know their costs. Costs are important. And then they need to mark it up. You know, so many percent for overhead, so many percent for profit, okay? However, that is wholesale thinking. Our industry has been trained by manufacturers. In heating and air, it's Carrier, Trane, Lennox, Amana, Goodman. Those are manufacturers. They control a lot of the teaching and training to the contractors. Those are wholesalers. They make money by moving more stuff.
Yeah.
That is a common misconception with contractors, is that they have to sell more stuff. And they don't think they're wholesale, but they are wholesale. When you take the cost and you add overhead profit points, that's what a wholesaler does. But a wholesaler has to have a professional salesman to move the volume. Okay? We do what's called retail.
Yes.
And retail is when you go into Home Depot or Lowe's and they have 4 tape measures for $9 in a package of 4. And you're like, oh my gosh, I got to buy that. That's so cheap. I already got 10 of them at home. But now listen, I used to count steps. 13 steps into Lowe's, I could look to my left and see 4 tape measures for $9.99. When I go 25 steps and look to my left, Phoebe, there is one big Stanley tape measure for $35. Retailers price to what the market will bear. What will people pay for a fancy product, even when they could buy the cheaper one that'll do the same job? Retail sets up the premium products so people can go buy them. feeling like that girl running through the store with her
Mhm.
shopping
Mhm.
bags. So the mistakes are pricing based on perception.
Yeah.
We're going to do 500 repair calls this year.
Mm.
So now they base their pricing on those 500 calls. And I'm going to tell you something, Phoebe. If they only do 400, they're going to have to refinance their house. And that's just the way it is.
Wow.
So I don't believe in pricing that way.
Okay.
I believe let the customer
Yeah.
buy your most valuable product, your talent, wisdom, knowledge, experience, and craftsmanship.
Mm-hmm.
Let them buy that and give them the options to buy the most premium of you that they can.
Awesome. From what I can say, at the heart of this conversation is understanding customers' behavior. So, what do homeowners really want when they are making repairs or replacement decisions?
What do homeowners want?
Yeah.
Number one, they want somebody that they want somebody that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
There's always a fear that the guy won't know what he's doing, that he won't show up on time, and that he will try to sell them. Today in the United States, people know that a lot of these service companies are just going to try to upsell. They're just going to try to sell. And it is an epidemic.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So what do they want? They want you to come and fix it at a fair price.
Yeah.
That's what they want. And they want you to treat them with respect.
Yes.
Respect their time, respect their home.
Yes.
You keep their home clean, you clean up after yourself, and you explain what you're going to do, and you tell them the very best job you can do. And if you give them options, you will have a price that they can afford, and they'll be happy.
That's great. Awesome. So, what are business owners' misunderstanding about how customers make decisions?
That is a great question. Business owners, they might not admit this. You know what? Here's something very interesting.
Yes, sir.
A technician goes to a house. I see this all the time on social media.
Yeah.
They'll say, I went to this house and, I told them it was going to be $1,800 for this water heater. And they said, I can get it from Home Depot for $800. Okay. You know what the other contractors will say to them on social media? They'll say, oh, that's not your customer anyway. They're just cheap. They're just shoppers. That's just not true, Phoebe. Number one, the customer does not know how to do a service call. They don't even know. They call somebody, they come, and then you show them a price, and then they think that they should negotiate the price, or they think they should find the lowest price. And then the contractor thinks these people are cheap.
Yeah.
Phoebe, they're not cheap, because if you look at their sofa, they've probably got a $3,000 sofa. They've got a $50,000 or $60,000 car out there. You know what these people buy? They buy what they want.
Yes.
When you position your services in such a way that it's appealing and affordable,
Yeah.
they're gonna. If Phoebe, if you call a plumber to your house because your dishwasher is leaking,
Yeah.
and for some reason you send him away without fixing that dishwasher,
Yeah.
he did something wrong, right? Because you wanted it fixed. You knew you were going to pay to have it fixed. You were willing, and then he comes in and says something like that. You just need to get a new dishwasher. That's a piece of junk. And now you got to call another plumber.
Yeah.
That's the biggest. Those are big mistakes that contractors make. They don't value and respect you. And so if I would go someplace and there is somebody's air conditioner on their house, and they say, well, 3 companies told me that I need to replace it. You know what I say? I say, oh my gosh, do you realize that's a Carrier NW25. That is the workhorse. That's one of the best air conditioners Carrier ever made.
Yeah.
What they say is wrong with it? Well, they didn't look at it. Well, why don't I take a look at it? Because I bet you got 5 or 10 more years in that.
Yeah.
And now if I go look at it and I say, oh my gosh, look at this. It just needed this. It was just a sensor, or it had this problem or this problem. Why don't I fix that? And by the way, if you take our top option, I'll go through the whole thing and bring it back to as close to factory standards as I can.
Wow.
Would that be good? Now, after 3 people told them it was a piece of junk.
Yeah.
And I tell them this is a quality machine.
Mhm.
Now, because I respected them, Phoebe, they respect me.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what he just did was to create the confidence in them, and it makes your sales easier. Again, that's very great. So now technology is changing how business interact with customers. AI is transforming industry around the world. How do you see it impacting home services?
First of all, AI, and before we called it AI,
Yes.
we called it YouTube.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Anybody can find out how to fix anything,
Yes.
and they can also find out what's the best replacement. So yesterday I was doing some woodworking, and my small, it's called a trim router,
Mhm.
finally blew up. I've had it for years. It was just a cheap one. So I quickly went on YouTube and said, what's the best router?
Okay.
I picked out one, and I just went right down to Lowe's and bought it. So we're in a society where I can solve my own problem.
Mhm.
However, there's still a huge value for a craftsman
Yes.
because I might not be able to, I might not have the tool,
Mhm.
and I might not even think about doing it myself.
Yes.
So here's how it's changed. If I come into your house and to fix your water heater, your air conditioner, whatever it is, and it turns out that it needs to be replaced,
Mhm.
you could immediately go online and you could search and get a whole lot of ideas.
Mhm.
So it's very important for me to be able to present you some options so that you can choose right now. You know what it is, Phoebe?
Mhm.
I don't want you to feel like you have to go shopping, like you have to go solve your own problem. I'm here to solve your problem. So AI is going to affect all of our business because first thing we do is go on AI, try to fix it ourselves if we can. Now, if we can't, we're still going to call a craftsman.
Yeah.
Still going to need a craftsman.
Yes.
And we are very, very much short of skilled craftsmen in this country. So I see a bright future for technical trades. Now, what's changing is the manufacturers are moving more towards what we call plug and play.
Mhm.
Okay? I can buy a furnace, I can buy a wall-mounted air conditioner, and it'll come with the lines and everything. If I'm just a little bit handy, I can install it myself.
Yeah.
That's not going to go away.
Yeah.
There's going to be more and more of that. So what's our job? Our job is to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay. My CPA told me a long time ago, he said, Rodney, he said, you think you're an electrician. He said, but you're not. He said, you are a labor broker. He said, you find the work and then you find the labor and you put the two together and then you get paid. When he told me that, Phoebe, I realized, oh my gosh, I don't have to just do electrical work, right? I can do, and right after that, I took on a huge welding project. Phoebe, I can't weld.
Oh.
I've never been able to weld, but I had a chance to bid a welding job in a brand new manufacturing distribution center. We had to drill 360 holes, 8 inches in concrete with diamond drill bits. We had to weld up these guards, put them in, concrete them in, and paint it. I had never done any of that. But how hard can it be?
Yeah.
I got the job. I hired a welder. I hired 2 or 3 welders. And then I went and I bought 4 welding machines. I bought a forklift and we did the job and made a lot of money.
Awesome. Okay, I can see honestly you really have your craft. So you spend decade helping business grow. What are the biggest lessons you learn as an entrepreneur?
Well, I said earlier, dance with the one that brought you here. And what I meant is, what is your skill?
Yes.
What are you good at? Keep doing it. If you're a great service technician, then stay in the truck as long as you can and hire somebody else to just do your off, we call it back office.
Yeah.
Answer the phones, dispatch, do that kind of stuff. And yeah, people might steal money, they might do a lot of things. You're going to go through all of that, but stay close to where your best skills and talents are.
Mm.
A lot of people think now an entrepreneur, Phoebe, is somebody that they see a need and they come up with an idea to fix it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did with the new flat rate. It was driving me bananas that I had 12 licenses. I was a consultant
Wow.
to the state. I can't even tell you how much education I had in my field. But when I told a customer it would be $75 to fix that outlet, they would say, "Oh, that's crazy. I'll just get Bubba." So the problem was, and that's why I wrote the book,
Yeah.
Why Won't They Pay Me What I'm Worth? But I didn't write the book till I found the answer. And
Yes.
the answer was in giving the menu options.
Mm.
I saw that problem, and Phoebe, I was not trying to be an entrepreneur. I was not trying to make something to sell to other contractors.
Yeah.
I was fixing my problem. I just wanted to be able to hire one person that could use the system and we'd all be happy.
Yes.
That's all I wanted to do.
That's awesome. And it's very, very exciting to know that. So, how important is innovation in an industry often resistant to change?
Because, see, innovation is saying, how can we solve this problem? And it might be by maybe I have to stop what I'm doing.
Yes.
My daughter, I have a daughter. I have 4 daughters.
Awesome.
And I have 5 sons.
Awesome.
That's why I can sit and talk to you. They run the businesses. Okay. My daughter said, well, my husband said the other day, if this doesn't work out, we'll just move back to a small house and we'll go work at Home Depot. That's one type of innovation that says, you know what? We've got a backup plan. We can just go do this until we figure out something else. If you see that what you're doing is not working, or the market changes because of AI or something like that, then back up and say, you know what? I'm a broker. I find labor and I give it something to do. Or I broker my own labor in different ways. So innovation is also trying to look down the road to see what's coming. What am I doing now that I just won't be able to do maybe in 5 months? Well, start looking for what else. There's all kind of problems out there. Start looking at other things to solve. Or what you're doing, can you do it better? Oftentimes, people think innovation is finding a way to provide the service or product for less cost. That is usually a mistake. Because if you're tempted to reduce quality in any other way, you're going down the wrong trail. Yeah. Because that one will come back and bite you. You should always be looking for ways to provide better service, yes, to do more for your customers and more for your employees. You should always be. We recently hired a young lady who showed up and came to work for our company, and she had an electric car that she'd been talked into by a friend, and it was costing her a fortune, and she had no good way to charge it at home. And she was really in a bind. So I put a car charger at the office. I said, here, every day, plug it in. Won't cost you a thing. Why? Because I could solve that problem for her. And on my app, I can see it costs me between $2.50 and $3.50 a day to take care of that. And you can imagine how much she appreciates that.
Yes.
So innovation should be first, how can I provide a better service to the people around me and then to my clients? And then what's changing in the industry? Yeah. And how can I change with it?
Awesome. That's very great. So let's go to legacy and impact. What legacy do you hope to leave through the new flat rate?
Well, that's a good question. I've often thought, which I've never said publicly, that if I was to be remembered for anything, it would be that I changed an industry. I would like to be known as somebody who had a disruption, a change in the industry. So we've still got a ways to go, but we're at about over $4 billion has ran through our systems in the 16 years that we've been in business.
Awesome.
That's massive by any,
Yeah.
So, and you know what? I was a struggling contractor. Wow. Remember, I hated paydays.
Yes.
Hated it. At one time, I had to borrow $250,000 from the bank to keep from going bankrupt. 3 times I had to refinance my home. One time I was $30,000 overdrawn at the
Wow.
bank, if you know what that
I
means.
know.
I was a hurting, pained, struggling contractor.
Mm,
That's who I serve. That is my prospect.
mm,
That's the person that I want to use the new flat rate
mm.
because I want to make their life easy and fun. I want their families to have money at
Mm.
Christmas.
Awesome.
That's what I want.
Okay,
That's the legacy I want.
okay, let's zero in on new flat rate to your company. What is working well for you right now and what has been frustrating?
Well, what's working well
Mm-hmm,
is that I was fortunate enough to have 9 kids. They all worked for me
mm-hmm.
either as a technician or in my office when I was a contractor. And then when we started the new flat rate, 3 of my kids started it with me.
Awesome.
They're still there and they all run it today. So family loyalty, there's just nothing like it.
Yes.
We all still love each other.
Mm-hmm.
If there's problems in the business, we say, well, at least we still love each other.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
That's good. So what is frustrating?
The frustration,
Yes, sir.
Phoebe, is and now I'm here. I don't run the company at all. My daughter does.
Okay.
But I tell her, watch overhead. Watch overhead. Quit hiring so many people. Keep the costs down. Because when overhead goes up,
Yeah.
eventually it starts to strangle you and it's hard to cut it. So I get frustrated if I see that it's costing us too much money to keep growing the business.
Yeah.
The frustration is finding out how to scale, how to get it to rise profitably
Yeah.
and not to be so darn much work.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. That leads me to the next question. Where do you, though you say you don't run the business, but where do your children plan to have the business in the next 1 year? What's their vision for the next 1 year?
Their vision is to simplify it, clarify it.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, bring the focus in on what exactly are we trying to do?
Yeah.
Where do we want to go?
Yeah.
What's the simplest way to do that?
Yeah.
What's the most practical way to do that?
Mhm.
It may be to partner with other people. It may be to add different products. It may be to simplify products, whatever,
Yeah.
And then they are also working on incorporating AI
Okay.
to be a friend to our program instead of an enemy.
Okay. So the next question is, if you have a magic wand to fix just one thing, holding your company down or slowing you down, what will that be?
One thing would be this. It would be to wave that magic wand so that contractors out there believe that we can solve their problem.
Okay.
Because today you get hundreds of emails, you get social media, everybody's got an answer, and you buy the product and it doesn't work. You try the things and it don't work. Well, contractors have spent big money
Yeah.
on things that didn't work.
Yeah.
Remember earlier I told you our system immediately doubles and triples high profit revenue.
Mm-hmm.
It actually dumps cash into the business to make payroll easier,
Yeah.
growth easier, profit easier.
Yeah.
If I could wave a magic wand and get people to not be afraid to try it,
Yeah.
that's what I would.
So you mean what you're looking at is how to get the contractors to buy your services, right?
Yeah, to understand it
Understand and know, of course.
so that they can't walk away from it.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Honestly, and do you have any way of getting the contractors aware of what your services provide?
We have a very detailed marketing program.
Okay.
We have like a 7-touch program from the first time they contact us. We actually have a person full time that when people contact us, they mail them things, gifts and things every week to get them to keep thinking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got a very sophisticated program.
But how do you furnish the pipeline of people coming calling for your service or contacting you?
One of my daughters is in charge of marketing,
Okay.
and so she does a lot of things that I don't even understand
Understand.
now.
Okay. I get you.
You know, back in the day, it was marketing videos and
Mhm.
things like that.
Yeah.
Now I don't even understand all that they do.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. It's really been great. So let me ask you maybe one or two questions before we wrap it. Rodney, after decades of in business and helping thousands of contractors transform their companies, what is the most important lesson you've learned about serving customers?
If your customers
Mhm.
are really happy with you, then an awful lot of what you're doing is right.
Yes.
If a lot of them aren't happy with you, if you're having a lot of resistance, you know, poor reviews or whatever, you're probably doing something wrong.
Okay, that's very great. So if every contractor listening today stop trying to sell and start helping customer buy, how will their businesses and their lives change?
Oh my gosh. It's I'll just tell you, it's 180 degrees.
Yeah.
The problem is contractors have been told to go this direction
Mm-hmm.
for so long
Mm-hmm.
by so many people.
Yeah.
If they knew that they could stop selling and just let the customer, if they understood true retail, how people just they will buy more
Yeah.
than you can ever sell them. So that,
Awesome.
it's a totally different viewpoint.
Yes. All right. Rodney, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing such powerful insights. One of the biggest takeaway from this conversation is that growth doesn't always come from doing more. Sometimes it comes from making things simpler. Customers don't want pressure, they want clarity, they want trust, and they want confidence in their decision. By shifting from selling to helping customers buy, businesses can improve customer experience, increase profitability, and create stronger relationships that last. So to everyone listening today, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. At the end of the day, I'm going to leave Rodney's contact information in the description box. Feel free to contact him because I know he has really good stuff for us to tap into. Rodney, thank you very much.
You're welcome. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, and to everyone listening, until next time, keep leading with integrity, serve with excellence, and remember, the best sales process isn't often on sales process itself. Thank you very much, and I'm your host, Phoebe. Thank you. Bye-bye, Rodney. Thank you.